What's up, boys? I'm the Duel Factory, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you my regional report for the St. Peter's Regional that I attended this weekend. Before we get into that, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you haven't already gone and checked it out, check out the X2 Drop podcast. Me and Mango HD, we bring out every Monday. It uploads at 10 a.m. on his channel. It also goes up at 8 p.m. on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify, and all that fun stuff. Notably, it does come out later on my channel, but that's alright. I don't really care about that part as long as you guys are listening and that we have the podcast grow. That's all I really care about. But enough about that. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I played at St. Peter's. I did switch back over to Pure Thunder. I'd rather play it over Salamangreat. I do like the Salamangreat deck, but Pure Thunder's been what I've been playing since Soul Fusion came out. It is my favorite deck for the current competitive format, and I think Pure is better than Combo at the moment. There's a lot of good things that this deck has going for it, and you know, it's what I like to play. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I mess around with over at this regional. No, we did only play 4 rounds. I started off well, and then I dropped 2 in a row, and then me and the buddies I went with decided that the regional was an L, and we just kind of dipped, got lunch, went home. But I really like the deck. It has a really tough Orcust matchup. Colossus doesn't really do anything in that matchup, so you have to change your main deck kind of to gear towards that matchup. Because everything else you kind of just beat. Like, you beat Striker, you beat True Draco, which is another reason I switched back over to this deck. So on and so forth. So, for the monsters, since it's pure, we max out on the Thunder monsters, honestly. So, 3 copies of Roar. He's the best one. I mean, he really is the best one in Pure Thunder. Like, he starts off your combos. He's the best one to banish off of Instant Fusion. He's the best one to banish off of Gold Sark. And he keeps continuing adding Thunder Dragon Fusion back to your deck. Not from adding from your banish pile back to your hand. So, I mean, he really is the best one. 3 copies of Dark. You utilize the search effect a lot more in this deck than you would the combo versions. We are playing 3 copies of Hawk. I personally don't think this is correct. However, there were situations that the third one does come up. And being able to mulligan your hand actually comes up a lot too. So I think you have to play 3. 3 copies of OG Thunder Dragon. 3 copies of Matrix. I'm usually a big fan of playing 2, but we don't have Summon Sork anymore. So I think it's necessary to play 3. And then something different from when I used to play Pure Thunder, I am playing 2 Duo. It's one of those cards, like, it's a searchable Chaos monster. And to be perfectly honest, you kind of want to hard draw it in some situations because it's one of those cards that puts you back into a game once your cards are gone because you don't have the access to Fairy Tale Snow anymore. So you need ways outside of Fairy Tale Snow, since we don't have it, to trigger your Thunder monsters when they're already in the graveyard. And Thunder Dragon Duo does that the best. It's a big body, and it also, when it runs over cards, it lets you search other Thunder monsters out of your deck. So I think it's necessary to play it too. And it honestly was really good for me. The only normal summon we play is 3 copies of Battery Man Solar. I think it's better than Aloof Lupine. For those of you who know, Solar, Hawk's full combo in Pure Thunder, and it works really well with Dimension Shifter, which I decided to play in my main deck, so I think this was the best normal summon out of all of them. I don't think Lupine's worth playing at this point. One of my favorite parts about Pure Thunder is you can play hand traps. So I played 3 copies of Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, which pairs really, really well with 3 copies of Dimension Shifter, which this was the best card in my deck all day. Like, if you open this almost against every other deck, other than the mirror match, I did play the mirror, it's an auto win. Like, almost every deck can't play around Macrocosmos, except yours, because all your effects trigger when your monsters are banished, so it's a perfect fit, and it's really, really good with Battery Man Solar, because this in Solar's full combo. Granted, you won't have any Thunders in graveyard to protect your Colossus and stuff like that, but usually the Macrocosmos effect is powerful enough to look past that point. Whereas, if they don't have a way to out your Colossus, now they're playing under Mistake and they're playing under Macro, and like it's just really hard for decks to play around that. Plus, this also works with Lure of Darkness, so that's cool. And the last hand trap we played was 2 copies of Ash Blossom. I just wanted something generic to play. In all honesty, this slot could have been anything else. I don't know if I would continue to keep Ash in. I think I would just streamline it and just play the Dimension Shifters and Fantasticals in the main deck, but that was it for the monsters. On to the spells. Another reason to play Pure Thunder is you can play 3 copies of Lure of Darkness. It's really good with Roar, it's really good with Dark. It's like playing Sacred Sword at 7 stars. And I mean, it just does everything you want. 3 copies of Instant Fusion. I see some people not playing this, and I feel like that's not correct, because it's another way to start your combos. Like, Instant Fusion Roar is full combo, and I feel like you want that option in your deck. Plus, it's a really good card going second. It's the best way to out negations, because they have to do a 1,000-eye restriction when it comes out. So there's that. 2 copies of Thunder Dragon Fusion. Some people play 3. I think maybe playing 3 might be worth it, but I think 2 is the right number at the moment. This is one of those cards, like, it's a really powerful effect and it allows you to grind, but you don't want to see multiples in your hand. You just want to be able to have access to them without actually having to search it all the time. So I think 2 best facilitates that number, but you might make the argument for playing 3. And then the 1 of Gold Star, because I'm only allowed to play 1. And then because your Orcust matchup is so bad, you need something other than Dimension Shifter to go with it. So pairing it with Paleozoic Dynamiscus is actually really good too, because it just banishes your problem cards like the Dingirsu, Galatea being recycled, the Field Spell, all that stuff. So there's that. Card's really good, honestly. And that was my main deck. It is 40. Go on to my extra. You already know. The boy. Shout out to Bingo HD for the token. And then for the actual monsters, we play 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Colossus. This is pure. You will go through 3 almost every single game. You just 100% need to play it. Although it doesn't do a whole lot against Orcust, it's still your easiest and best card to make. One of the big reasons to play pure is you get to play this card again, which is Thunder Dragon Titan. Non-targeting destruction. It is a level 10, so you can play cool rank 10s. Like I saw some people playing Gustav Max and whatnot, but I cut that from my deck. But I mean, like, this card's insane. And then with Thunder Dragon Fusion, you're just able to recycle your cards so frequently that you just never run out of resources. But you want 3 in the deck because the first time you resolve Thunder Dragon Fusion, you don't want to be sending Titan back to your extra deck. You want to be sending other cards. And playing 3 gives you that freedom. And then the other 2 fusions for instant fusion are Thousand Eye Restrict and the Kaminari attack. This is just for combo turn 1, and then this is for going second. And then for Link monsters, you play 1 Link Karibo. Matrix and Hawk is Link Karibo plus Colossus, so you have to play it. 1 copy of Phoenix for generic Link 2, and 1 Sun Summoner. We needed a generic 2 that had downward pointing arrows, so that's why we're playing Lambda. I am also playing 1 copy of Unicorn. I wasn't playing it first, but it doesn't come up. The best card in my extra deck, Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. This card's insane. Like, you make it with a Colossus or a Titan or anything like that, and, like, most decks just can't. The only deck that can't, like I said, no, the only deck that can't out is Orcust. Game 1, but, like, unless, like, Striker playing, what's his name? It's, Ningirsu or something like that. Like, they can't out it. And, like, it is just game. And what it does is just insane. And then 1 copy of Warlord. I was only playing this for the mirror, but now that I might honestly just cut it, but that's why I played for this event. Now we'll go into the side deck since it was a regional. I'll show you what I played. We were siding for going second. I sided 3 copies of Levineer. Like, in combo, you play 3 of it in the main deck, but I don't think it has a slot in the main deck for pure. But when you're, like, going second, you need, like, bomb cards. And, like, when you play through all your stuff and you drop this, like, the game's over. Like, your opponent can't play through that. We also have 3 copies of Nibiru. This was for combo. And also, in certain matchups, I did side it against the 1 pure that I played against because he was in a situation, like, that he was going to have to push through and kill and to break my board, and then, like, you just drop the rock, yes, when he smells cooking, he did it, and it was over. 3 copies of Denko. This is just literally for back row decks. Like, you just side Solar out, put this in, the game's over. 3 copies of Twin Twister. This deck also has the same problem as combo does, and it has a really hard time playing through Mystic Mine. And notice, Denko deals with a lot of cards that your deck would have a struggle with, but there are some situations where, like, your opponent prematurely flips floodgates, like there can only be 1. I'm trying to think of other floodgates. I mean, you have Mystic Mine. Multi-roll is going to be one of those cards that remains face up and stuff like that. Yeah, like, you just need cards like this to deal with cards that your Denkos and stuff can't deal with, so that's it. And then my favorite reason to play it. 3 copies of Eradicator. I've had these sitting in the binder for God knows how long for a reason to play. And now I have a reason to play, because, like, if you flip this against Striker now, especially with only 1 multi-roll and 1 Kagari, game's over. They're not going to be able to play through it regardless. So this was definitely 3 of them in the deck, and one time I did resolve it, card was insane. But that was my deck list for the St. Peter's Regional, and I'll go ahead and tell you the 4 rounds that I played. So round 1 I played against Pure Thunder. That was a 2-0. The guy was really cool, really nice, but I just put him in a situation where it was hard for him to play, and it's been so long since people have seen Pure Thunder, even recently, like, they just kind of forget how to play around Titan, and, like, I popped, like, 6 cards in 1 turn, so, like, that was insane. I played against True Draco round 2. he bopped me game 1. I'll give him that, because, like, this dude's main deck in Fossil Dyna Pachycephalo, and I can't play through that. And I also bricked really bad. That was one time I opened 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Roar with nothing to go with it. That was really insane. But then games 2 and 3, like, post-side, you just blow them out with, like, Twins and the fucking Chaos Dragon Livianeers, and, like, your opponent just can't play. And then my rounds 3 and 4 I played against Orcus. Both those matches went to game 3, but, like, it's just... That matchup is undescribably hard for this deck. Like, there's so much that goes into it. And you're just sitting there trying to grind through their cards and stuff like that, and then, like, as the game progresses and goes on, it's like you're running out of resources even with Thunder Dragon Fusion, and they're still recycling their Dingirsu, sending your cards to the graveyard, their Long Ursu's taking all your stuff, and, like, it just goes on and on and on and on. It's like, after so long, they just grind you out of your cards. And it's frustrating, and it's really difficult, and I feel like at any point, if you would have saw Dimension Shifter in any of the opening hands, the matches could have switched differently and went in my favor, and I could have very easily started 4-0. But I digress. I did not. We went 4 rounds and then dropped. But I still think it's important to document exactly what I did and how I did it, and show you guys the progressions as I go through the season. But that was my St. Peter's Regional Report. Always like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check out the X2 Drop podcast. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.